And now, Knock 2 Studios presents Censored.
A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order.
It's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
What the Clinton administration's foreign policy will be, what this so-called new world order will look like.
A new world order.
George Bush has invoked a new world order.
We all talk about a new world order.
It is a big idea. A new world order.
A new world order.
The historic role in trying to make sure that there is, after all, a new world order.
And today that new world is struggling to be born. A world quite different from the one we've known.
I believe we, and particularly you, your class, has an incredible window of opportunity to lead in shaping a new world order. A new world order.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Censored. I'm Lord Sterling, and we are broadcasting live from deep behind enemy lines in FEMA region numero uno, deep blue azure, Connecticut. From Castle Sterling on the sound, got my co-pilot Loki, the green cheek Connier, chilling on her jungle gym over there. Maybe she'll come visit throughout the broadcast. Welcome, all of you censored commoners. Thanks for being here today. This is episode 141. Damn, we're getting up there really fast. And we've got tons of crazy stuff to cover. As always, women's rights. Finito. Bye-bye. Oh, man. The Biden administration has gutted Title IX in a shocking turn of events, eliminating the difference between gender and sex and allowing men to pose as women and go anywhere that women should be able to be alone and have a little bit of privacy. It's completely brutal. Trump has been indicted again down in Arizona, along with a bunch of other co-conspirators. Jack Smith has had documents that he had redacted, unredacted by Judge Eileen Cannon. Some really interesting stuff going on with that. We've got updates in Haiti with the unelected transitional council that's been sworn in. We have the most epic Biden Freudian slip of all time, which is freaking hilarious. Dude, everything is going crazy. Union leader in New York City says Trump leads Biden among his members 3-1, which is huge. The unions, who usually demon rat, going for Trump, breaking through their Trump derangement syndrome. Could it be? Could it be that people on the ground interfacing with the industry and the workplace are realizing that shit is fucked, shit is fucked to shit, and that the people driving the truck are driving it off the road, the country, you know, the train is going off the rails. We've got lots of crazy stuff to cover today. Let's start out first with Three Purrs quote of the day. After we finish the, the intro stuff, make sure to join us Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern-ish. Sometimes we're a little bit late, you know, a little later than others. Sometimes we're early today, so no worries about that. Use hashtag #CommonCensored when you share the show on X, where you can find us at _CommonCensored. Also, make sure to check out alplama.com, the unofficial sponsor of Censored and your new herbal health guru, as well as my personal herbal health guru. Anything that's ailing you, you could probably find some kind of treatment over there on alplama.com. Check them out if you want to support the show. You can also go to commoncensored.locals.com. And thanks, Mama Mac, for all of your help behind the scenes with timestamps, etc. Yeah, you can go to commoncensored.locals.com if you want to support the show. Sign up for like $5 a month. Keep the studio up and running and Loki's belly full of yummy treats. She'd appreciate that for sure. Links to all of the articles, videos, everything we cover throughout the broadcast will be listed in the description beneath the show. So if you're watching this later and you're pressed for time, feel free to click down there, look at all the various topics we discuss dozens and dozens of things, and jump to the timestamps of the topics that interest you. I'm trying to make it convenient for you, plus linking you to all of our sources so you can examine everything we cover in deeper detail on your own if you'd like to. Disclaimer: views expressed on Common Censored are only opinions. Assume everything we say is false and research for yourself. We are not giving medical, legal, or financial advice. The only advice we are giving is think for yourself. Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. And let's jump into Threeper's quote of the day. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. What a name. And pretty much describes every lefty and pretty much all of us, because we're not free. We've been conditioned to think we are, even though they've been incrementally chipping away at our rights with a chisel for a century, at least, at this point. That's right, D. Bergfeld. We're early. Don't you dare question it. Question authority. I'm not authority, so you can't question me. Oh, anyway, good one. Threeper. That's one that everybody needs to ponder. Always think for yourself. Question authority. If you're told that you're free, question the people telling you that. If you're told that we started early, question the people telling you that. Let's jump into some news. Let's start out over in Haiti, over in hell, as this article would lead us to believe, and possibly accurately. Haiti, hell! Unelected transitional council is sworn in as interim prime minister chosen. New interim prime minister chosen as violence takes the country to the brink of catastrophe. And obviously, shit has been hitting the fan over in Haiti. Reports of cannibalism. Dude named Barbecue running the show over there. The prime minister, the previous prime minister, exiled, having escaped the country, finally having resigned. This is crazy. And the rest of his cabinet elected a new provisional prime minister. Meanwhile, the new transitional council was sworn in, and said council may or may not appoint its own interim PM. So there's conflict going on between factions, each claiming to represent the people in their own government. Kind of like what's going on here with the Biden administration claiming to be the president of the United States. Confusing here and there. Now add that to the fact that control on the streets is not maintained by the various unelected political groups, but rather by the rebel gangs. So there's factions vying for power at the top and factions running things on the street. Exiled Prime Minister Henry presented his resignation in a letter signed in L.A., dated from yesterday, the 24th. Damn, so he just resigned, and the power vacuum is resulting in a bunch of competing factions. Chaos. Henry's remaining cabinet chose Economy and Finance Minister Michel Patrick Boisvert as the interim prime minister. It was not immediately clear if or when the newly appointed transitional council would select its own interim prime minister. So everything's in flux over there. It's a giant bed of quicksand with this guy, this meatball-looking guy over here, Barbecue. Jimmy Barbecue Charisier, controlling 80% of the capital of Port-au-Prince. Craziness over there. Thanks, Mama Mac, for putting the timestamps in the show notes I see over there. Let's jump into the crazy Biden Freudian slip, which is freaking glorious. This is a channel I just found. This guy, OK Rick, with 2 Ks at the end of his name. Seems like a pretty cool channel. This guy is funny, man. His laugh is hilarious. But look at what Biden says here. This is completely bananas.
In a sense, I don't know why we're surprised by Trump. How many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted?
How many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted? Oh my God, dude. Holy hell. He just admitted it out loud, Freudian style, that they can't be trusted and that Trump is proving it over and over and over and over again.
In a sense, I don't know why we're surprised by Trump. How many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted?
Oh my God.
In a sense, I don't know why we're surprised by Trump. How many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted?
Holy fuck,
sense,
that's
I don't
funny.
know why we're surprised by Trump.
This is
How many times does he have to
unbelievable.
prove we can't be trusted?
Bro.
Oh, bake me a pie.
This guy's funny, man. He's apparently been giving away hundreds and hundreds of hats over on his channel. I don't know if he's giving away Make America Great Again hats or channel specific hats or what, but he seems like a pretty cool guy. Gator posting some breaking news in the chat. Looks like Raw's Alerts. At Raw's Alerts, breaking. Firefighters are battling a massive fire at the Oceanside Pier with evacuations currently underway. Oceanside, California. Currently, multiple firefighting units have been dispatched to respond to a second alarm fire raging at Oceanside Harbor Pier as towering flames and billowing black smoke are visible from miles away. Evacuation efforts are in progress as the situation escalates, with authorities urging people to leave the area. Meanwhile, the cause of the fire remains under investigation, and emergency responders are working to contain the blaze as the situation unfolds. Let's see what's going on over here. Damn, I've been there, man. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not that pier, actually. Oceanside, I don't know. That's not cool, though. These are like iconic Americana landmarks, man. I don't like seeing this at all. What's going on? Let me know in the chat if we have any updates as we continue forth through the episode. But it's really sad to see this. Not good, man. Update: blaze erupted in a vacant restaurant at the end of the pier. The business was formerly Ruby's Diner. Oh, so someplace in a freaking fabulous location like this can't even stay open for business. The economy is being gutted. I don't know what caused this place to go down, but I'm assuming it's a confluence of the currency being destroyed, of everything, of people not being able to afford eating out, property prices and rent and shit skyrocketing as they devalue the currency. This is the designed implosion. If this place can't stay in business, no place can stay in business. Give me a break. We're under attack. Climate change strikes again. Trump.ai at ABOLISHED posts over here. Perfect comment. Oh, no. Damn. Thanks for the update on that, Gator. I'm going to post this in the show notes so you guys can get it later if you want. Oceanside Pier fire. Damn. Sucks. Sucks. Let's see. What do we have next on the list? We've got indictments coming out of Arizona. Simon Atiba at 8:25 last night when we were live. This came out. Breaking. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays announced that a grand jury has indicted 18 Republicans, including Donald J. Trump, over alleged attempt to change the 2020 election results. There's nothing wrong with that. The Democrats contested the election in 2000, in 2016. Like every time a Republican wins, the Democrats contest it, but we're not allowed to. Let's listen to what this hoe bag has to say.
Hi, I'm Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays. Let me start by thanking everyone for your patience as we conducted a thorough and professional investigation over the past 13 months into the fake elector scheme in our state. I understand for some of you today didn't come fast enough, and I know I'll be criticized by others for conducting this investigation at all. But as I have stated before and will say here again today, I will not allow American democracy to be undermined. It's too important.
This is so ridiculous. These people are insane. These are like the foundational principles of this country, that we can question elections, that we can try to get to the bottom of state corruption, and these people are acting like it's a crime against democracy to question authority.
Oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
These people are retarded.
The investigators and attorneys assigned to this case took the necessary time to thoroughly piece together the details of the events that began nearly 4 years ago. They followed the facts where they led, and I'm very proud of the work they've done to date. We're here because justice demands an answer to the efforts that the defendants and other unindicted co-conspirators allegedly took to undermine the will of Arizona's voters during the 2020 presidential election. Arizona's election was free and fair. The people of Arizona elected President Biden.
There's no cure for being a cunt.
What do you even say to these people that are just completely deranged?
Unwilling to accept this fact, the defendants charged by the state grand jury allegedly schemed to prevent the lawful transfer of the presidency. Whatever their reasoning was, the plot to violate the law must be answered for, and I was elected to uphold the law of this state.
How much is the cartel paying you? That's what I want to know. We need investigations.
The scheme, had it succeeded, would have deprived Arizona's voters of their right to have their votes counted for.
Here it is. The bullshit flag's coming out.
The bullshit flag. A total inversion of reality. Our votes weren't counted.
For their chosen president.
That's what you did. You prevented our votes from counting for the chosen president.
It effectively would have made their right to vote meaningless.
Yeah, which is exactly what you did. They're like this. They're just flip. Saul Alinsky, rules for radicals. Look in the mirror. Whatever you're doing that's illegal and wrong, blame it on your opponent. Say they're doing it. These people are total joke. Total joke. Look, yeah, here we go. Sarah R. Hakeem Jeffries denied the 2016 election. Shouldn't he be indicted? The more we learn about 2016, the more illegitimate it becomes. America deserves to know whether we have a fake president in the Oval Office. Hashtag Russian interference. We will never bend the knee to our election deniers who poison our democracy. There he is in 2022. Completely the reverse of what he was saying. Oh, man. Let me get the hurl cam off the screen while Trump's on there. We don't need no hurl cam for Trump. Shout out to everybody that's hanging out over in the chat. Alicia Savage, Mama Mac, Sheepdog, Crazy B, Bayou Gator. What's up, guys? D Bergfelt in the house. Hope you're doing well, D. Thanks for joining us today. Glad to see you. Tim Finman, what's up, dude? What's up, everybody? Sorry for the slight delay. My cousin called me while I was making the thumbnail and was telling me how he's happy that the population is decreasing, and even if the jabs are designed to destroy people's immune systems, it's good because humans are a scourge on the earth. Like, dude, you realize that that's psychopathic and pure evil, right? The justification, I think it would be the best outcome for myself and my family. But that's what people don't understand, is that you need the rest of society for your family to do well. Everybody needs to succeed, and we all need each other for that as well. So I was a little distracted making the thumbnail. Anyway, let's jump over to the Gateway Pundit talking about this exact topic. Trump 2020 alternate electors indicted. I know how it's pronounced. In Arizona, in Democrat A.G. May's witch hunt, Trump listed as unindicted co-conspirator. But I thought he was indicted, according to Simon Atiba. 18 Republicans indicted, including Donald Trump. Let's see what's going on. Christina Layla wrote this article. Trump 2020 alternate electors, GOP state electors, former Arizona GOP chairwoman Kelly Ward, and others were indicted by a state grand jury in Arizona on Wednesday. Arizona's Democrat Attorney General Chris Mays announced on Wednesday afternoon she defended her witch hunt and the curious timing of the indictment just months before the 2024 general election, trying to scare future alternate electors, which are totally legal and normal, and JFK did it in when he won the election for Hawaii. Make no mistake, the charges are a warning shot to anyone who may want to challenge the 2024 election. Ding, ding, ding. We conducted a thorough and professional election, as we saw her say in the video. Chris Mays admitted last year she was investigating Trump's 2020 alternate electors from Arizona. Of course, Gateway Pundit was all over that at the time. In a dirty move, Mays' office knew the alternate electors were going to invoke their Fifth Amendment rights, but she made them appear before the grand jury anyway. This is a highly unusual and risky move. The Fifth Amendment allows a person to exercise their right to remain silent to protect against self-incrimination. Democrat prosecutors requiring the pro-Trump alternate electors to plead the Fifth before a grand jury could unnecessarily prejudice the grand jurors. Although the Fifth Amendment is not an admission of guilt, grand jurors may assume the pro-Trump alternate electors are indeed guilty. The state grand jury on Wednesday indicted 11 Trump alternate electors, state legislators, GOP activists, and others. It appears Mark Meadows and possibly Rudy Giuliani or Michael Roman were also indicted, but their names were redacted. President Trump was named unindicted co-conspirator number 1. Okay, so he has not been indicted. That's good news, I guess, but either way, it wouldn't really matter. That's right, Mama Mac. Guilty until never allowed to be proven innocent. That's exactly what's going on, Mama Mac. You know what's up. Let's see, is there anybody over on YouTube that I missed? Valiant Thor! What's up, Valiant Thor? Last time the Democrats hated a political opponent this much, it was Abraham Lincoln. Yep, sounds about right. Nadia! Hello, my sweet friend. I just wanted to pop in and say hello. We'll chat soon. I'll text you later tonight. Have a good show. I got to get back to work. Nadia, always good to hear from you. We'll look forward to talking to you soon and having you on the show. Definitely. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. Omega Directive on YouTube. Good timing, bro. Good to see you. Good to see you. You're the man. Let's see. President Trump was named unindicted co-conspirator 1 in the indictment because he made a phone call about the ballot counting to former Governor Doug Ducey. NBC News reports a state grand jury in Arizona on Wednesday indicted so-called fake electors who backed then-President Donald Trump in 2020 following a sprawling investigation into the alleged efforts to overturn Joe Biden's win in the presidential election in the state. Among those charged is Kelly Ward, who served as chair of the Arizona GOP during the 2020 election and the immediate aftermath. She tweeted on January 6, 2021, after the attack on the U.S. Capitol, "Congress is adjourned. Send the elector choice back to the legislatures." Yes, that's what we needed. We weren't trying to interfere with anything. We, the people, just wanted to make sure the electors were properly picked by the legislatures. As we know, the legislatures in various states were bypassed unconstitutionally as all kinds of changes were made. All kinds of changes to do the David Hatcher Childress, Ancient Aliens, if you guys don't know. Next week, just so you guys know, Thursday, there will be no broadcast. I'm going to be going to Ancient Aliens Live, which will be fun, meeting up with some megalithic maniacs. Some friends of mine in the deep archaeology sphere. That'll be fun. So yeah, Ward is a consistent propagator of these false claims that Arizona's election results were rigged. These people are total clown world. So when the Democrats cast alternate electors, it's called dueling electors. But when the Republicans cast alternate electors, it's called fake electors. And indictments come down from a crooked Democrat attorneys general. Crazy, 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 crazy. And as we know, the alternate electors are also being charged in other states. Georgia and Michigan as well are being targeted. Where is that, Sterling? Let's look real quick. Maybe at the Oakdale or something. Ancient Aliens Live, Connecticut. Ancient Aliens Live, Torrington. Should be fun. Yeah, Torrington at the Warner Theater. Tickets are probably still available. Limited. Yeah. Possible. There's still some tickets available if anybody's interested. I will be there. We could meet theoretically. Yeah, let's jump back into the story. But yeah, that's happening over at Torrington at the Warner Theater. And there are other additional events in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, Maryland, New York, New Mexico, and tonight in Arizona. Speaking of Arizona. Yeah, so this is crazy. Everything is popping off right now. Let's jump over to our next topic. We're going to head over to ACLJ on YouTube. Trump's lawyers frequently, the seculos. Let's check out what they're saying about the immunity case today going before the Supreme Court. And we'll have to check and see if there's any updates as we go throughout the broadcast.
Wall-to-wall coverage of the Trump immunity case at the U.S. Supreme Court. It does have huge ramifications, even bigger than President Trump, because it's about whether a president who is now a former president can be criminally charged for acts they took as president. And then there's a dividing line. Can you be charged for official acts, or do they have to be considered unofficial acts? And what is official and what is unofficial? Now, most acts, it's pretty easy to determine what's official and what's unofficial. But there are certainly areas when you're president of the United States where you are making decisions like with the CIA and others that are certainly right on the line between whether or not they're on the up and up completely under U.S. law, or is it something that we, again, allow presidents to do? What we argued at the ACLJ is, of course, there's never this full blanket immunity. It's not like the president can do whatever they want as president and claim that was an official act. We have criminal laws on the books that certainly apply. And one of the hypotheticals we'll get into later was, what if someone gave the president $1 million bribe to make them an ambassador? And my answer would be very simple. That is a crime. That is not an official act of the president because the crime came before the official act, and the crime outweighs the official act. So both the ambassador is compromised because looks like they didn't earn that position or didn't necessarily deserve that position. And at the same time, the $1 billion, if it really was considered a bribe. Now, you could get into some gray area there because a lot of major donors to campaigns do end up becoming ambassadors to some of the smaller countries. But I would say that's different than going to the president and giving him $1 billion. That's not a donation to a campaign before he is president of the United States. So there I'd say, no, that's not an official act, and thus you could be prosecuted for that once you were outside the presidency. And I think that most Americans would agree with that because you still then are, Logan, you're preserving what we need, which is presidential immunity for official acts, so that every drone strike that may have gone wrong but was still done in an official way with military telling you this is what we need to do, but it may have not gone perfect. We still need that kind of protection for presidents of the United States, whatever party they're part of. I did want to point out something that's just unique in this case because there are four main charges against President Trump that have been brought by Jack Smith in the case. Two of those charges, the Supreme Court heard arguments on last week to say that those charges were unconstitutional. And what that means is that at least 4 justices on the Supreme Court believed those charges were. It was brought by another January 6th defendant. So
look at this. These lunatics are responding over on X to the arguments about immunity. Eric Turkowitz, if I understand today's SCOTUS argument, Biden can kill Trump because he's a threat to the country and do so with immunity. Did I get that right? No, he could be impeached by Congress, by the House, and convicted by the Senate. It's immunity from, and it's acts as president. That would be like not a presidential act. These people are totally disingenuous and twisting reality. No, immunity is only available for Republican presidents. If I heard Gorsuch and Trump's lawyer correctly, Biden can get rid of Trump with his bare hands and on video, and it's all good. As long as Biden looks at the camera as he's doing it and says it's an official act, you're welcome, United States. These people are ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Let's listen to Justice Alito destroying Jack Smith's prosecutor during the Trump immunity oral arguments with just one question. Christina Layla wrote this over at the Gateway Pundit. The Supreme Court on Thursday heard oral arguments on Trump's presidential immunity claim in Jack Smith's J6 case. The case weight is made a SCOTUS after the D.C. Court of Appeals ruled Trump was not immune from prosecution. Trump's lawyers previously argued that Trump is immune from federal prosecution for crimes committed while he served as U.S. president. John Sauer, a Missouri-based attorney for Trump, gave an opening statement on Thursday and argued that Jack Smith's indictment uses vague statutes to criminalize core authority of the presidency. Sauer, not sure, Sauer probably, argued that immunity protects past presidents such as George W. Bush and Barack Obama from being prosecuted from crimes they committed while in office. As expected, liberal justices similar to the appellate court judges floated absurd hypotheticals. So Biden can strangle Trump on camera? No. These people are ridiculous, dude. The justices then had the opportunity to grill Jack Smith prosecutor Michael Dreeben. Recall that Dreeben was one of Mueller's goons in the special counsel's Trump-Russia Inquisition, nice one. Conservative Justice Samuel Alito destroyed DOJ prosecutor Michael Dreeben with one question. If the president gets advice from the attorney general that is something lawful, is that an absolute defense? Alito asked Dreeben. I think it is. Let's check out the clip. I think this is the right one, yeah.
Examples. I won't do that. Let me just touch briefly on a couple of other things. One is the relevance of advice of counsel, and I wasn't clear what your answer is. So if the president gets advice from the attorney general that something is lawful, is that an absolute defense?
Yes, I think that it is under the principle of entrapment by estoppel. This is a due process doctrine that we referred to in our reply brief in Garland versus Cargill this term at page 19, where we cited authority of this court that if a authorized government representative tells you that what you are about to do is lawful, it would be a root violation of due process to prosecute you for that.
Won't that give presidents an incentive to be sure to pick an attorney general who will reliably tell the president that it is lawful to do whatever the president wants to do if there's any possibly conceivable argument in favor of it?
So you could your defense, like as a regular citizen, according to this argument, would be like, oh, I didn't know that murder was illegal. I read, I heard an attorney tell me it was totally legal. As if that makes any sense at all.
The constitutional structure protects against that risk. The president nominates the attorney general, and the Senate provides advice and consent. And these are the sort of structural checks that have operated for 200 years to prevent the kind of abuses that my friend fears going forward as a result of this once in history prosecution.
What about President Franklin D. Roosevelt's decision to intern Japanese Americans during World War? Couldn't that have been charged today? Yes, Michael Dreeben said. Alito wonders, this is Simon Atiba, Alito wonders why Trump is the only former president charged. Asks about Roosevelt. Let's listen.
It is correct, Justice Alito, but I think that we should also consider
Sorry
the
for the
history
volume
of
issues.
this country. As members of the court have observed, it's baked into the Constitution that any president knows that they are exposed to potential criminal prosecution. My friend says after impeachment and conviction, we don't read the impeachment judgment clause that way, but it's common ground that all former presidents have known that they could be indicted and convicted. And Watergate cemented that understanding. The Watergate smoking gun tape involved President Nixon and H.R. Haldeman talking about and then deciding to use the CIA to give a bogus story to the FBI to shut down a criminal investigation.
I mean, Mr. Sauer and others have identified events in the past where presidents have engaged in conduct that might have been charged as a federal crime, and you say, well, no, that's not really true. This is page 42 of your brief. So what about President Franklin D. Roosevelt's decision to intern Japanese Americans during World War II? Couldn't that have been charged under 18 U.S.C. 241, conspiracy against civil rights?
Today, yes, given this court's decision in Trump versus United States in
Listen to this guy's voice.
which Trump versus Hawaii, where the court said Korematsu is overruled. I mean, President Roosevelt made that decision with the advice of his Attorney General. That's a layer of
safeguard. Is that
safeguard.
really true? I thought Attorney General Biddle thought that there was really no threat of sabotage, as did J. Edgar Hoover.
So I think that there is a lot of historical controversy, but it underscores that occurred during wartime. It implicates potential commander-in-chief concerns about the exigencies of national defense that might provide an as-applied Article II challenge at the time. I'm not suggesting today, but the idea that a decision that was made and ultimately endorsed by this court, perhaps wrongly, in the Korematsu case, would support criminal prosecution under 241, which requires under United States versus Lanier that the right have been made specific so that there is notice to the president. I don't think that would have been satisfied.
All right, well, we could go through other historical examples. I won't do that. Let me just touch briefly.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Trump? Are they gonna give hold up the immunity that presidents have had forever? You can't get a fair trial as a president in any state. It would have to be Congress bringing up charges. Everybody's all the citizens have an opinion. Everybody's biased. There's no unbiased people out there. So. I think presidents have to go through the impeachment process. Let's see. What do we have next? We've got Jack Smith documents being unredacted and the cover-up exposed by Judge Eileen Cannon. Judge Cannon unmasks redacted documents revealing Biden White House direct ties to Mar-a-Lago raid, Jack Smith investigation. Who'd have thought? Who'd have ever imagined that? Oh, man. Judge Eileen Cannon on Monday ordered key evidence in Jack Smith's classified documents case to be unredacted. The newly unredacted documents revealed Biden's White House had direct ties to the Mar-a-Lago raid. The Biden regime was also directly tied to Jack Smith's investigation, despite claims to the contrary from U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland. Attorney General Merrick Garland. He always sounds like he's on the verge of tears. Before, with redactions, Jack Smith wanted to hide the fact that the National Archives had several conversations with the Biden White House. Unredacted on May 5th. Let's jump over to we got what's his face over here? Doug in Exile talking about it, and liberal hive mind talking about it, and they have some some good compilations of the documents. Sorry, here, let me start this over. Here we go.
Can anybody say, holy frickin' crap? Because I know that's exactly what I'm saying. Thank God that we have Judge Aileen Cannon. You know, the left keeps disparaging her, saying she's horrible, she doesn't know what she's doing, she's inexperienced and clearly partisan, but she continues to prove the exact opposite. Most importantly, above all, she continues to show us how courageous she is and how important transparency and the truth is in such sensitive matters. Joe Biden's DOJ hound, Jack Smith, just got completely exposed after a good chunk of his redactions were, well, unredacted. And boy,
Booyah,
oh
Grandma!
boy, is it interesting what was redacted. You know, some of the most important, sensitive information that actually proves that Donald Trump was right and shows that this whole thing was a White House, a Biden White House connected witch hunt.
The same thing with the New York trial with Michael Colangelo, going from the Biden administration directly into into work with Letitia James and those clowns over there. These are all the records of what's her face, Big Fanny, and her little boy toy visiting the White House. These are all White House operations, and it's being revealed. This is freaking hilarious.
Yep. We have official documents from inside NARA, from inside the government, showing exactly what happened in this classified documents case. And it's pretty much just as horrible as you might think, and it proves Donald Trump 100% right.
Let's jump over to OK Rick again, and we'll hop over to coverage of the actual contents with Doug in exile. We're gonna react to a dude reacting to a video for some YouTube inception.
And Jack Smith, all that's happening is he's just being exposed as a flop sweat hack. Yet another liar.
Flop sweat hack. Good one. Man, we're getting so many commercials. Sorry for that, guys.
To the top, a giant cover up. This also exposes, by the way, Merrick Garland, creepy, bug-eyed, lying, spy on Catholics. Merrick Garland, Joe Biden's hatchet man.
Hatchet man.
Okay, here's Julie Kelly.
Should I just do the whole show
Twitter,
bouncing around all over the place like this?
By Judge Cannon. Key evidence related to classified docs case is now unredacted. We're going to read it. On the left, what Department of Justice Jack Smith wanted to conceal. On the right, now we know why.
This is crazy.
More proof of collaboration between the Biden White House and NARA, which is the National Archives or whatever it is, to concoct a case.
This is
so
nuts.
let's do a comparison. So here we go. As you can see, this is the original. This is on A, the early indication of NARA or National Archives bias. This is pre-indictment investigation archives. And then we're going to take away the black lines and it's going to reveal what they were redacting. I have three of these sets, guys. Three documents.
What up, Sean?
Direct comparison is going to expose Biden. Here goes. Here's where NARA General Counsel Gary Stern sent an internal
Anderson
email
Inc. if you need tattoos in
attaching a
Connecticut.
draft letter to President Trump's PRA representative. Example one, Stern noted, so they didn't want to reveal his name, I think, but Stern noted that he, quote, had several conversations with White House ORMs and that had, quote, raised some of these
White
concerns directly with David, this is Ferriero. Stern's draft conceded that things were very chaotic, as they always are, in the course of a one-term transition. And he acknowledged that the transfer of the Trump electronic records is still ongoing and won't be complete for several more months, emphasis added.
And that it's
The
normal.
employee explained to FBI that it is not uncommon that PRA material, Presidential Records Act material collection extends past the close of any presidential administration.
So previously, all the presidents take stuff, and then it takes a few months to like go through it and decide what they're keeping, what's going to NARA, and there's nothing unusual about any of this. And Jack Smith redacted that to make it seem like this was out of the ordinary Trump behavior.
That's
here.
what they're trying to hide. That the Presidential Resurrection Act, it knows that material collection, it extends well beyond the president's administration, long after they're out of the House. Usually they get a pass.
Yeah.
Sometimes, quote, well after the close of any given president.
I'm just a dude dressed up as a dude playing another dude.
Presidential administration.
That's right, Gator.
So they want to redact that and go, don't try to normalize Trump. It looks too bad that he's doing something normal.
Even though it is
Especially
normal.
when they know that Biden did it. However,
Whiskey.
in early June of 2021, during ongoing good faith efforts by President Trump, PRA, Presidential Records Act representatives, to address issues raised by National Archives, Ferrero declared, I am out of patience. That's when they were yelling at Trump and mad that he wouldn't turn over documents. And he was going, I have a right to these documents. I can declassify them. Here's Julie Kelly on the second batch that we have. Now you know why the insiders like Andrew Weissman and Barb McQuade are desperate to get rid of Judge Cannon. Without her courage on this matter, incriminating evidence of Biden's White House and Department of Justice running the investigative show behind the scenes would be buried, maybe forever.
And this is effectively a cover-up of exculpatory evidence. What's that called? A Brady violation? Yeah, look at this. The Brady Doctrine is a pretrial discovery rule that was established by the United States Supreme Court in Brady v. Maryland, 1963. The rule requires that the prosecution must turn over all exculpatory evidence to the defendant in a criminal case. Exculpatory evidence is evidence that might exonerate the defendant, like maybe the fact that it's totally common and average process for it to take months to go through presidential documents before they're delivered to NARA. It seems like covering up that exculpatory evidence might be a Brady violation.
Department of Justice told NARA what to do to cover their tracks. That's in the next redaction. So here's the unredacted, and we're just going to read that top paragraph because now we get to see all the good stuff. And the first sentence of the second paragraph. Here we go.
Oh, real quick. Also, make sure to send energy down to Sean Anderson, who's got a demon in his house sucking his energy all the time. If you guys are into paranormal stuff, Sean would be a good person to talk to about that. I don't mean to laugh, Sean. It's not funny. It's hardcore. You got to move, bro. but send energy to Sean because he needs extra energy. Like Alex Jones talks about the interdimensional pedophiles sucking energy from the sub-transmission zone. They're coming after Sean. So send that energy down to Sean. Anderson Inc. in Connecticut if you guys need tattoos.
And now, this is in 2022. On behalf of the Biden administration, according to an FBI report, Stern, also of National Archives, consulted with Stu in late January 2021. During the consult, Stu referred Stern and to the Department of Justice, so they're covering someone up, and the Department of Justice Associate Deputy
Commercial. In case you guys don't know, Doug in Exile, the guy reading the documents here, is the creator of the comic book and video game Earthworm Jim. So in case you're wondering about his credibility, he's highly credible. Highly credible. Earthworm Jim. No, he does really good work, though. Especially here. Let's continue.
General Emily Loeb and Associate Deputy Attorney General David Newman on January 24th, 2022, Loeb and Newman instructed the Stern, quote, to refer the matter to their office of the Inspector General, unquote. That is NARA. OI is Inspector General, IG. And, quote, the office of the Director of National Intelligence. Newman also provided DOJ contacts Jay Bratt, chief of the National Security Division, and Corey Amundsen, chief of the Public Integrity section. And Stern, quote, had additional conversations with Bratt and Amundsen regarding next steps. First sentence of the next paragraph. On January 25th, acting on instructions from the White House and Department of Justice. Oh, why did they cover that up, I wonder?
Oh,
Jack
my
Smith.
God. Covering up that they're acting on orders of the White House and Department of Justice. That's fucking crazy. Hiding the ties that these are all Biden coordinated schemes going on in all these states.
You sweat conspiracy. Why did you cover up the White House and Department of Justice?
You get ready to pack your bags, boy.
Right, and Jack Smith was like, oh, well, the only reason we're redacting things is to cover up sources and methods, ongoing undercover operations that we don't want to reveal the identities of these people. No, you're covering up Biden White House connections and Brady violations, scumbag.
I tell you, man.
I tell you what.
Sent information.
Boy.
National Archives sent
Cowgirl.
information regarding
What's
the
up,
15
Cowgirl?
boxes to National Archives. Yeah, this is a cover-up now. Now, this is Jack Smith. Remember what he said? He was trying. He said he redacted these documents. Remember this? We did a video on this. This was months ago. He said he redacted these documents because there was an ongoing deep cover guys that they had to keep protected. I mean, assume that's still the black slot on each of these. They're still protecting the guy's name. But what he really used was that black slot to cover up this first sentence, for instance, that shows that the White House and Department of Justice were running this whole thing, telling National Archives what to do, where to go, what to get.
Unbelievable.
This is a conspiracy. And also it proves that Jack Smith is a liar and can't be trusted,
right?
Because he gave an excuse. Now it's been proven to be false. He got caught in it, buddy. Jack Smith, you got caught lying on these redacted materials, probably obstructing justice, and that you didn't want alien.
Got you. I mean, and this quality is good. I mean, it's not even 4K, y'all. This is what y'all say, 8K, Patriots?
Maybe even 12K.
We didn't even know they made technology like that.
They do. They do.
Oh, man. What a clown show. It's ridiculous, man.
Total clown world.
It is ridiculous, y'all.
Smacking him around. Hey, Jack, how about I release this? Let's take a little longer on this while I unredact this. He goes, no, we'll have to. And they had to go approvals back and forth, and she's buying Trump more time. Good girl.
Hilarious,
Julie
right,
Kelly.
Sam?
Last one here.
Okay, Rick.
Biden Department of Energy.
It's OKAYRICKK is this dude over here with the MAGA hat. And down on the bottom right is Doug in Exile. Doug in Exile. His name is Doug TenNapel. TenNapel. One word. Doug TenNapel. Doug in Exile.
DOE is what it's called. Department of Energy also involved in the cover-up. The DOE discovered after Smith handed down his indictment.
Some of y'all like, Rick, we're not surprised. You know, Rick, we're
nice. Not surprised. We're getting a commercial.
GovX.com.
We're not surprised at all. Like, oh man,
they read that Trump had an active security clearance, so they retroactively terminated it.
Bro,
see, if
retroactively
Trump had a security clearance, he might have gotten some cover, but they retroactively like backdated it to say that you're no longer covered.
It's pure evil.
This is shocking. This is Jack Smith, you're guilty. Department of Justice, Department of Energy, all in on it, all of you. So here's the redacted document. You can see the black lines at the top. And then we're going to go, looks like third, about halfway down that second paragraph. We'll read that one to you also. Now let's remove those lines and we'll go to this document. We're going to read this last page. And because if Jack Smith wants this stuff covered up, I'm reading it on my program, sucker. It's public now. It has been made public. I'm not in trouble for reading this stuff. This is public knowledge now, sucker. Now we're going to...
Sucker. Hey, sucker. We hit you right upside. Gonna get hit right upside the head. Man, I seen one of the comments say, Rick, and back in the this he wheels or
I could, go through the documents myself, but I only have time to collate stuff sometimes and not like look through everything in detail. So I'm just aggregating information, directing you to places that also do a good job of actual analysis. Doug, 10 April, Doug in Exile, check him out.
Read this to everyone what you did. Pull down your pants and show that you're a blank Ken doll. That's all you are. Here we go. In the memorandum, the Energy Department's Assistant General Counsel disclosed that the agency's central...
Sorry, switching to HD for you guys. Didn't realize it wasn't on HD. Maybe you can actually read what's going on. If it'll work now. What time are we at? 19:27. All right, here we go.
Assistant General Counsel disclosed that the agency's central person...
Oh, dude. What's going on?
I apologize. Excuse me, y'all. Doug is comedy, man. He gives me a good laugh, man. Doug is fresh too. He got his haircut, man. Salute to my brother Doug and all the beautiful patriots out there. Y'all got them haircuts, them sexy.
Oh, man. I don't know why. Internet is not working very well right now.
This is a huge... No, it's not, but some...
Anyway, you guys get the gist. Link is in the description if you want to check out more of that. Let's move on. Keep it moving. Trump cuts Biden's lead in New York to 10 points as Democrats' election interference efforts backfire. Union leaders says Trump leads Biden among his members 3-1, which is bananas. President Trump is narrowing Joe Biden's lead in Democratic New York, with the Democrats' lawfare against him proving to be a witch hunt. As the Gateway pundit reported earlier, President Trump arrived at a construction site in New York on Thursday morning to greet union workers, and he was met with thunderous chants of USA, USA. Trump told Fox News earlier, quote, "I think these maybe were Democrats, but for me, they're Republican. There's not a Democrat in there," he added.
The first signs of sciatic nerve decay may surprise you. Most people don't know this, but the real reason behind searing sciatic nerve...
How important is the union vote? And you're here in New York City, you're talking with these members. Do you think you can maybe change some of their minds if they were lifelong Democrats to vote for you?
I think these maybe were Democrats, but for me, they're a Republican. There's not a Democrat in there. These are people... Look at that building. Look what we can do. We built a lot of great buildings in the city with these people. And they've given me great support. They're really amazing. You know what? They're very, very talented people. They don't get the credit for it. They have very few people can do what they do. We used to do 3 floors a week in concrete, and it was guys like this that did it. So it's very amazing.
Boom. Union workers love Trump, and according to new polling data, Biden's lead in New York, a state where Democrats have won by double digits in every presidential election since 1988, when Ron Paul ran as a libertarian for president, continues to shrink. As Right Side Broadcasting News Network reports, in the latest show of proof that left-wing prosecutors' efforts to interfere in the 2024 presidential election are backfiring, a newly released survey reveals that President Donald J. Trump may be within striking distance of Joe Biden in one of America's strongest Democrat states. And this is even after all of the Republicans moved out of New York. I think 500,000 people have moved out of New York since Biden was elected. pretty much all Republicans relocating to Florida and places like that. Unfortunately, when people relocate like that, the ratio of when red leaves, that leaves a greater ratio of red to blue in the state. So you'd think that it would become more blue as red people leave, but it's actually turning more red, which means that people are actually switching parties in New York, defying all expectations, which is pretty cool to see. Yeah, one of America's strongest Democrat states. Imagine if Trump was able to flip New York. That would be huge. It'd be huge. Winning bigly in New York. That would be amazing. New polling from Siena College Research Institute conducted over a 3-day period from April 15th to 17th shows President Trump within 10 points of Joe Biden in the state, 37% to 47%. And that's if you even believe the polling. In February, the same poll, which was taken prior to the start of the New York City trial, which will wrap up week 2 tomorrow, showed Biden leading by 12, 48% to 36%. So the spread is closed by 2 points in 2 weeks. Among independent voters, Trump leads Biden by 14 points. That's huge. 46% to 32%. We need the independents. If this margin were to hold or tighten further going into November, it could indicate a seismic shift in the voting habits of traditionally deep blue New York. Joe Biden carried the state's 29 electoral votes by a margin of 23 points 4 years ago, and the last time a Republican declared victory there was 1984, when President Ronald Reagan defeated ex-Vice President Walter Mondale by a more modest 8 points. Didn't Reagan win like a massive number of states? New York union leader Bobby Bartels also shared results from a poll he put out in his union, telling Fox, President Trump is leading Joe Biden 3-1 on my presidential poll of my 9,000 members right now. Bartels added, Bartels reminds me of that comedian who goes out on the street and says goofy shit. Bartle do. Some of you guys might know what I'm talking about. I can't remember his name.
It was great to see the president come.
Let's check out the clip.
It was great to see the president come and engaging with the
something Bassman. Ed Bassman. That's the guy.
Blue-collar worker of New York City. We basically built New York. The union movement has made the middle class. And we are very patriotic union, and we are pro-America. So my members right now, I put out a poll in my union. President Trump is leading Joe Biden 3-1 on my presidential poll out of my 9,000 members right now. We are very tired of the situation with groceries, inflation, gas prices, illegal immigration, crime. We're living it every day in New York City.
Boom. The Dems are flipping. It's unavoidable. The Great Awakening is real. Momentum is building. We are unstoppable. The tide is insurmountable. We are changing the landscape, and it helps having places like X to help us spread the message, leveling the information playing field so we can see the actual landscape. And in that actual information landscape, we are dominating.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan? Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans?
We saw somebody tell Joe Biden, fuck you to his face yesterday, too. Remember that? That was another good one. Let's see. I know there's another video. Yeah, here we go. Gator sent me another union worker message. Let me pull it up here real quick. That's what she said. 1 second, guys. Sorry for the brief delay. Got it right here. Drag it over to the window. Share the tab instead. Let's see what we got going on here. Steve loves ammo, just like Ed. Shout out to Ed Hoskins. Is the chat working for you? Ed, I don't see you over there. Sorry for all the chaos with the chat not working. Another union worker in Manhattan has a message for President Joe Biden. Give it up. Let's check it
A lot
out.
of people are talking about how unusual it is to see so many Trump supporters in Manhattan at 4, 5, 6 in the morning. Does that surprise you?
No, absolutely not. Demographics have changed. The administration that's in there right now isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not taking care of American people. So we need somebody in there to take care of American people. That's it.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Joe Biden, give it up.
A lot of people are talking about how unusual
Give it up,
it is
creepy
to see so many
Joe.
Trump supporters.
You little bitch. Speaking of little bitches, check out this little bitch. Real-time microscope footage of an amoeba crawling. This is a real little bitch. Over here, look at this. Aliens are real, guys. They're just tiny. Look at this thing. How cool is that? It's little tendrils. It's not creepy at all. Really cool. No sound on this, but this is apparently what an amoeba looks like under a microscope. And I heard some stuff about a potential microscope conspiracy, how they allow only limited magnification possibly to cover up parasitic origins of cancer. Look into that conspiracy. Kind of interesting stuff. I might have played something on the show about it before. Let's see. Oh, we got information about NATO potentially launching attacks on Russia. This is crazy. This is real crazy. We're going to hop over to Redacted's show from yesterday and skip ahead to 37 minutes. Boom. Let's check this out. Apparently, the reason Putin may have been called into the Kremlin the other night was to hear reports of NATO readying to launch attacks on Russia and possibly even sort of stealthily posing as Ukrainian troops. Let's get into this here. It's not funny. Why are you guys laughing?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, the Biden administration has taken women's rights and threw them right in the trash with changes to Title IX. So do not let illiberal Democrats tell you that they stand for women's rights. They don't. I would like to turn to the redheaded libertarian to summarize what this means. I just want to check. We have the F word bleeped from this video. Okay. All right. So yes, we're going to show you this because I think she puts it into context beautifully.
So according to Riley Gaines, the Biden regime has just abolished Title IX as we know it. Sex now equals gender. This means that men can now take athletic scholarships from women. Men can now take academic scholarships from women. Men will have full access to women's spaces on campus. This includes their bathrooms and their locker rooms. Men will now be housed.
I got this titled wrong. This is the Title IX, where women's rights have been gutted, as you can hear. This is freaking bananas. Bananas. Decades of women fighting for rights to privacy so they don't have to deal with men in vulnerable situations. And Biden's administration just undid all of it, potentially.
In dorms with women. Student and faculty will have their speech compelled to respect pronouns of these individuals. If you ignore these guidelines, if you question these guidelines, you can be charged with harassment. So I only have one question. Where the are these bitches? What are you doing? Where
you at?
Is your sea of pink? You know what's worse than having to drive out of state to get your health care? Abolishing the equal protection of women, forcing women to undress in front of men, not letting them question that because they'll be sued, compelling their speech, stripping them of their victories, stripping them of their medals, stripping them of their scholarships, violating their spaces, violating their due process. You can still get your abortions.
This is insane.
Make a road trip out of it. I don't give a but you're no longer a woman according to the Biden regime. This has been stripped away from you by subpar men. Parade about that. Wear your pink hats about that. Hug each other about that. Cry about that.
They've been traditionally more left for sure, JJ. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Got a commercial. Let's skip it. And she gets into the documents.
I'm mad about that.
Yeah, where are these women?
Where are those pea hat women who marched against President Trump because he said hurtful things about other women. But now women are actually being hurt. So where are they? If all you care about is abortion, you're fake. You are not a real feminist. You're just a fancy knit hat wearing pretend feminist. That's fake. So let's go over exactly what's happening. Man. Are you mad? Though. Are you mad, Clayton?
I'm mad. I'm
you
mad.
Already were mad.
I was already mad. I'm in a constant state of madness. But I'm more mad at the hypocrisy of it all.
Yes, that really got me because I expect to see those same women marching against this for our daughters, for college and school-aged children, but they're not. And I don't understand it. So
the term reproductive rights implies the right to reproduce. The right to murder is a totally different thing, which is something you don't have. So they're flipping language again with this whole like reproductive rights thing, as you guys all know.
Let's go through what it is. Now, Title
Check
IX
out the details of this.
Is formally called the Education Amendments of 1972. It's a set of laws that prohibit discrimination on the basis of sex in any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. So most often it's used to make sure that women have fair representation in sports. It's used to protect women in housing, healthcare, education, making sure that women can choose any major they want, making sure that women have the same access to housing and federal grants and those types of opportunities as men typically did. So here are a couple of ways that now Joe Biden has just pissed all over that by including men now in Title IX. Number one, they added, this is the big one, they added the term gender identity to the definition of women, which means that a man can self-identify into these rights. So now these privileges that Title IX affords to women, not just for sports, men can compete in sports. Men can get sports scholarships that were previously offered to women. They can compete for them. They can compete for academic grants, scholarships to schools, and housing opportunities. They can, of course, compete in women's sports and have full access to women's locker rooms. And they can demand that their pronouns are respected, and they can punish anyone who does not use their preferred pronouns. So a man can say, this fellow female athlete called me the wrong pronoun, a he, and now they can be punished. Former Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, she made positive changes to Title IX during the Trump years when she was in office. And she is horrified at the way that her
you got it right,
changes were repealed. Here she says this about it. She says, today the Joe Biden administration finalized its radical rewrite of Title IX. I never thought I'd see the day where Title IX was used to harm women, but sadly, that day has come. She says the regulation is an assault on women and girls. It makes it federal requirement that boys be allowed in girls' bathrooms, in elementary school even. Makes it a federal requirement that men be allowed to play women's sports, putting their safety, privacy, and competitive opportunity at risk. And it makes it a federal requirement that feelings, not facts, dictate how Title IX is enforced. Well,
but that's okay, because all they care about is killing babies. It's like this is complete clown world. Oh my God. Women's rights have been obliterated. Obliterated. This is an outrage.
She's right about that. And we're going to talk about it. Under the Trump administration, in order to be penalized around Title IX, it had to be an aggressive or provable offense. Well, now a man can say, well, I don't like how they misgendered me. I don't feel welcomed in this women's only space. And so they can make a report, and the person they're reporting against has no right to due process anymore because the new changes to Title IX removes the right to due process and marks a return to what they're calling it the kangaroo court system. What this means is that under the Trump administration, Secretary DeVos changed Title IX that allowed anyone who was accused of a Title IX violation a real investigation. So they were now, under the changes during the Trump years, now anyone accused was supposed to be notified of their offense, showed the evidence against them, and allowed a live hearing and the right to cross-examine.
Oh, you mean the right to efface your accuser? Yeah.
But now the Biden administration has repealed those changes, so it returns to the kangaroo courts. That's what's coming back now. It's saying that Team Biden restores the Obama-era Title IX kangaroo courts and nixes fairness. And that's what's coming up. And now Title IX requires it. And because of this lack of due process, this is exactly what will happen, is that it will jettison the requirement. I'm sorry, I can't read this and it's not loading. Jettison the requirement that unwelcome conduct and harassment will be severe and pervasive. And instead, it's just subject to something offensive. No longer require schools to have hearings, and also allow colleges to use just a single investigator, and also scrap the requirement that the accused is guaranteed access to the evidence against them, and mandate that universities report all Title IX offenses, even if the purported victim chooses not to report it. So you can see how this is going to go, given that someone can be punished for only speech. Title IX can now punish a woman on behalf of a man and revoke their right to defend themselves. And
I'm a man in a woman's bathroom, and that woman made me feel uncomfortable by being uncomfortable that I had my junk hanging out, and the woman gets in trouble. This is complete and total madness.
This is madness.
Total madness. Women should be outraged by this, completely and utterly outraged. Let's check out this meme. I don't know if it's really a meme per se, but something that Gator just posted in the chat. Posted at a doctor's office. Every election year has a disease. 2004, we had SARS. 2008, we had avian flu. 2010, we had swine flu. 2012, we had MERS. 2014, we had Ebola. Remember that? A whole bowl of Ebola. 2016, we had Zika. 2018, Ebola again. And 2020, Corona. Facts. I don't know if we can read these on YouTube. So, time to kill the YouTube feed, metaphorically, of course. YouTube is asshole. And let's go Rumble and Facebook. And let's go Rumble and exclusive. Let me post the link to the Rumble broadcast over in the chat on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry to have to ditch you, Sean, but get that Rumble app. Come over and join us on the dark side, where the water is warm and we all float. Come on over to Rumble. Sorry to have to ditch you guys. That's right, Mama Matt, come Rumble with us. So, if you can't make it, sorry to have to ditch you. We'll catch you on the flip side. But until then, let's get ready to rumble!